But our next article here is about Apex Legends. So there's a Switch version that got announced. We can talk about that. So Apex Legends Switch developer says the port was challenging but is running well. So this is Chris Carter of Destructoid. So as we learned recently during the EA Play stream, that was over this weekend, Apex Legends is coming to Switch later this year alongside of crossplay with all existing platforms. The presentation was very brief, but now a few extra details are coming to light. Speaking to GameSpot, Chad Grenier, game director at Respawn Entertainment, explained that although crafting the port was a challenge, it's running very well. They also highlight that gyro aiming took a while to implement, but it's going to be good to go by the time Switch port arrives. Grenier also says that that all 5 platforms, including Steam, will be caught up with another and will be the same game by the time the Switch arrives. A lot of the holdup is due to back-end work, which will make sure that players can bring over their account info from prior platforms. It's all sounding good on paper, but we just need to see how the port runs in practice. How do you feel about this Switch port? I don't think we've seen gameplay, or maybe there was, and I'll pull up a trailer. I don't know if they actually showed off full-blown Switch gameplay of Apex.
I think we sort of discussed it a little bit via text. I think it's doable. Like they said, it's going to be fucking challenging. You're going to have to simplify a lot of things, but you sort of compare this to, like, you look at the complexity of Fortnite and the verticality, the environment of that, and this is, kind of similar but way less destruction, which is pretty fucking cool. And how complex are the buildings and Apex Legends? I can't really remember. One thing you can't simplify is the collision geometry. No matter what you can walk on is what I have to be able to walk on. That 100% has to be contiguous amongst all platforms. So I definitely think it's doing the one thing I'm definitely a little bit concerned about. So it will have a disadvantage in the fact that it's definitely going to be 30 frames per second most of the time. Right. Whereas other platforms can certainly go faster. A concern I have is gyro aiming. If you've ever played a game that does have a combination of stick aiming and gyro aiming, it's so fucking good. Killzone 2, or maybe it was 3, had it with certain sniper weapons. And it's just that little edge when you have, you got the stick is pretty close, but you just sort of give it a little, and you're right there. People love that in Splatoon. There are other games that have had it as well. That is a huge advantage. Certainly not against PC players, but against other console players, that's a big advantage. So my question would be as well, is PlayStation 4 going to get that? They have a gyro controller. Xbox could be, unfortunately, would be the only one left out. Yeah,
that's true.
Which is astounding because their controller is just as expensive. Yet you look at the PlayStation, the monstrosity that is the PlayStation 3 controller, or 4 or whatever.
4.
So I think that's a very cool addition. But yeah, like I said, that is an unfair advantage. That being said, the frame rate's going to be worse. So we'll see. Is there going to be a mode where you turn it off? Probably not. That's going to split too many people. Are you legitimately going to be able to play this game? Is it on Stadia?
I don't think it is. I don't think that's one of the ones they have on Stadia.
They really should. Then it'd be the second game ever to be playable on all consoles, PC, and Stadia, which is only one game currently, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. But yeah, it's I hope all the best. I really think it's doable. It's going to be, like they said, it's going to be hard, but I think it's going to be doable, and it's 100% going to be worth it. That much more player base, and there's a free-to-play game on the Switch. These people are so thirsty for free-to-play games; they will just drink them up. So, I mean, I'll be curious. Like, is your little nephew going to take this on? I don't know.
I think so. I think there's a lot of players that are growing up with Fortnite, and they see other first-person shooters, and if you can offer them a free version already on their Switch that they can jump in, take their same friends with them. I mean, and it has the same kind of basic style of gameplay as a Fortnite where it's Battle Royale. I feel like that's a no-brainer to just open up your market completely and just selling gangbusters there. So, yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. Assuming it runs well. And you're right. I think they can nail it. It's going to be tough. I imagine they wouldn't approach it if they couldn't. You lock it at 30 frames per second. You just kind of make the geometry more simple, and you're good.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too. It'll help reach the audience, which I think probably have PS4s and Xbox Ones or whatever, but and it's out one ear, in one ear, and out the other. It reaches that audience. Like, I wanted a faster paced battle royale, but I didn't want to play Fortnite. And so
Right.
this just popped out of nowhere and bridged that fucking gap. Um, Absolute blast. We need to play it on PC now. See
Yeah.
how the hackers are. I don't know if they're still filling the servers like they used to be. Um, but
Gotcha.